Hi, I'm back. Sorry if it seems like I'm just like being lazy in the videos. You can only sit up in one position for so long, holding the computer on your lap. And notice in the first and second videos that the video was kind of shaky, so I'm trying to be in a position where I can talk easily, and like I talk with my hands a lot in case you didn't notice, and so have more freedom of movement to be able to do that and not just be holding onto my computer the whole time. But I'm not trying to be like sensual and or anything like that. Not that I really feel sensual today. But anyway, back on the subject, I think where I left off I was talking about how older women, they don't have often the same ability to use looks or sensuality or whatever to get, things done for them. It's sad but true. A lot of people in today's society are ageist. Guys of any age can get pretty much a woman of any age, but once a woman's over the hill or, past a certain age, it's a little bit harder for her in terms of relationship and love and just, dating and so forth. And, pretty much the median age, I'm not a statistics person, but pretty much the median age for divorce for a woman is around the age of like 40-ish. And that's kind of sad, and there's a reason for that. And usually when it comes to like cheating and stuff, if the divorce is in relation to cheating, usually the person that the guy cheats with is a younger woman. And it's sad but true, usually. I mean, oftentimes there's other reasons why people get divorced. Maybe they just were like putting up with each other for the sake of the kids, or for the sake of being old-fashioned and believing in marriage and everything else. But a lot of times it is involving infidelity, or cheating, or just the guy's tired of being with an older woman. It's sad and it's pathetic, but guys aren't that way. I'm not saying that women aren't that way too. I've seen plenty of talk shows where like they get a young, cute celebrity on the show, and like these older, middle-aged women are just like fawning over the guy, and it's kind of gross in a way. I mean, it's weird, but society has a double standard with this, usually. Usually cougars are frowned on more so than guys who have trophy wives or much younger women. But it's true, there's a lot of ageism in society. When, Donald Trump married, obviously, he married someone much younger than him. I could name a number of other celebrities. One of my favorite guy actors is Nicolas Cage, but his last marriage was someone way younger than him. I don't even know the age difference. Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher, of course they've split now, from what I understand. And it's sad too, because I liked Ashton Kutcher, but when I found out about some of the things from the magazines, and who knows whether it's true or not, it kind of made me like him less as an actor. But I thought they were such a cute couple, even in spite of the age difference. But that was like the reverse. So she was the much older person, but that's usually frowned on more so than a guy who's like 60 with a 20-something-year-old woman. Yeah. So there's very much a double standard with that in society. So women who are younger generally fare better when it comes to opportunities in life, relationship-wise, career-wise, money-wise, because once women get past a certain age, people kind of have this negativity of, oh, you're not young and cute and sexy and charming and everything else, so, with the exception of maybe Meryl Streep in Hollywood, pretty much it gets hard for women after a certain age. guys, up until like their 60s, you have so many older actors in Hollywood, like in action movies and so forth. You have like Robert De Niro and people like that who just, they're still making films up into their 60s. But women in Hollywood, after a certain age, they kind of phase out or fade out into the background, and occasionally maybe they'll appear in a sitcom or whatever, but they don't get work, they don't get movie roles and stuff like the young women do. Pretty much teens to early 30s is about the age range for women's success in Hollywood. And after that time, it's a lot harder for them to get roles because they're not young, they're not cute, they can't be the movie vixen or whatever, the I almost said sex pistol, sex symbol, for guys, But guys, I mean, look at Tom Cruise now. He's in a movie where he's playing like a rock god or something, Actually, I want to see that movie. But he's still getting work at his age, but if it were a woman, it would be a lot harder, Yeah, granted, he's getting older and everything, but he's still getting the roles. Jennifer Aniston, she's getting up there, but she's still in movies. So she's maybe the exception, but most women in Hollywood, after a certain time, it gets a lot harder for them. That's just the norm. There are exceptions to everything, but that's the norm. And it's sad, but true. But there's a lot of ageism. But anyway, that's kind of where I left off in the last video. But another thing that I wanted to touch on, aside from the sensuality and sexuality, that women use that a lot to manipulate men and the tears and everything else, of, oh, I'm a helpless female, there are other things, more so specifically speaking to like married women or women that are like living together with their guy or whatever, or in a relationship or long-term relationship with their guy. You have like these honey-do lists, which kind of, it seems a little bit emasculating to me. I'm sorry, I love my mom to death, but she kind of falls into that category of doing that, and that kind of irritates me. She'll do the same thing with my dad. Like, honey this, honey that, the garbage, blah, blah, blah. A guy comes home from a long day of work, and he just wants to kick back and relax with a beer on the couch watching sports or, My Name is Earl or whatever, kind of thing, and just relax after a long day of work, And believe me, I've been there. I've been the breadwinner in my family for a while, and after a long day of work, you just want to kick back and relax. You don't want to go out. You don't want to get up and take out the garbage and, run errands and stuff. But a lot of women, that are housewives, specifically, I mean, career women will probably do this too, but married women or, women that are like living together with a guy, but more specifically with married women, especially ones who are housewives, I've seen this a lot. They'll have these honey-do lists where, the guy comes home after a long day of work and here's this, 5-page long thing of things that have to get done. It's like, you're not working, you're not going out and making a living, you're not having to deal with a dirtbag boss all day and come home tired and, just want to relax. You're dealing with this kind of stuff all day long, so like, you're not having to punch in a time clock. Figure it out. Figure out how to do this stuff so that you're not pestering the guy the minute he comes in the door with the honey-do list and, just making his day so much worse than it was already to begin with. Guys, I feel for them in this respect. I feel for them because, they'll come home from, working construction or working a long day at the office, and then they're greeted at the door not with a cute, sexy vixen and, a French maid uniform and nothing else, or, whatever their fantasy is, They're not greeted with that. They're greeted with some angry, scowling woman with a list of things for him to go and do, and it's pathetic and it's sad. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. Like granted, there were times when I was the main breadwinner, when I wanted my my husband, well, when before I was the main breadwinner, when he was the main breadwinner and I was a housewife, because I was a housewife back in the day. When he'd come home, granted, I mean, I had little babies to take care of, and, you know, I'd be like, come on, can you help me change the diapers, or, you know, or can you pick your socks up off the floor? But, I mean, never to the extremes that I've seen sometimes, you know. And even when I was working occasionally, you know, I'd know that I'd come home and, you know, he was a house husband at the time, and, or whatever you call them, stay-at-home dad, and I'd come home and be like, he'd be taking care of the kids all day, so he'd been at the stuff all day, but I'd be like, you know, dude, I need help with this, because, you know, I know you've been at this all day, but I'm tired too. So I get it. I get where guys are coming from with this. They just want to relax after a long day, have some iced tea, have a beer on the couch, you know, just chill, watch sports and shit. And this nagging wife or girlfriend comes to them with, you know, a list of things to do, and or, you know, trying to drag them out of the house to go and do something, and they're just exhausted. So that to me is just irritating. And I think it's all these things put together are kind of reasons why men in society nowadays, and you see it on sitcoms and stuff, of course, you know, TV isn't real life, but, you know, it's just an example of where it is in society, or of where society is, that men are kind of pussy whipped and just, you know, downtrodden and just, you know, kind of sad, you know, they're just, you know, women have become so, you know, we're macho women, blah, 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 and we need rights and yada, 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 that guys in society have kind of taken a back seat. And I'm not saying that men and women aren't equal, but there are certain roles, so to speak, for men and women, and it's almost like guys are rejecting the fact that they're guys. I'm not saying that that's a contributing factor as far as the gay thing, but even perfectly heterosexual males don't always act like men. In a sense, you think of like old Western movies, you know, John Wayne and stuff, and you know how guys are like, take charge and like, yeah, let's go beat up the bad guys and, you know, whatever. You know, nowadays men are just kind of like perpetually in the state of like being a frat boy. You know, even in the comedy shows on TV, you see these, you know, guys with a giant beer belly who are just like flipping burgers and, you know, getting into hijinks with their wives or girlfriends, you know, and everything else. And they don't really seem very macho. They seem, like I said, kind of pussy whipped, and they don't really, you know, step up and act like a dude or act like a man. And I am going to make one more video, and then I'll be done with this topic, because I'm probably boring you if you're even still watching. But a couple more points I wanted to make, and then I'm done.